Good morning. Glad you're all here. Thank you for that, Sylvia. So, my name is Mary Lawrence. I am a practitioner here at Ulm Center for Spiritual Living, Ulm Community Center for Spiritual Living. Welcome. And we do have some really special treats for you today. And what am I doing first? We are doing the
Yes.
congregational songs. So,
I get to introduce this song to you, which you haven't ever sung before. Ha ha. So if you can, we invite you to stand up. And it's amazing the technology that we have. And just take a deep breath. And we'll get you going. I promise not to go too fast. I get so excited. God is my source, God is my power, God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. Love is my source, love is my power, love gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. Love gives me everything I need. Joy is my source. Ha! Joy is my power. Joy gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. Joy gives me everything I need. Peace is my source. Peace is my power. Peace gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. Peace gives me everything I need. God is my source. God is my power. God gives everything I need. Yeah. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. Again, God gives me everything one more time. God gives me everything I need.
okay, now that we got up and raised our energy, it's going to be a lot of that today. We're going to bring it down again, and Miss Sylvia is our practitioner today.
Each day of your life is an opening day to achieve something new or increase your personal value. You are Spirit's outlet. Your divine purpose is to become an outlet for its wisdom, intelligence, love, beauty, and creativity. Life is flowing through you as pure spirit. Because you are God's stuff, your word has power to manifest itself in concrete form. Now is the time to be open to what you want and to create your vision. During our silent meditation, I invite you to contemplate this thought. I delight in being who I am and who I am becoming. I will repeat that again. I delight in being who I am and who I am becoming. unity, perfect alignment. God, oneness, one light, one love, silence, tranquility, serenity, pure, perfect waves of love energy coming forth out of every single being and spreading throughout the world as one beautiful, incredible ocean of perfect, divine love and order. There's just one of us, and we are individually our own selves in union with peace, tremendous love, and joy. I give thanks for this day that God has made, for this time to celebrate the individual spirits who are here present among us, within us, as one, unified presence of absolute divine love, compassion, and happiness. Peaceful are we as we move through this day, adding to the joy and the beauty and sharing with others just by being ourselves. I give thanks for the technology that allows us to be connected across the globe, not just within this beautiful sanctuary, but actually reaching out easily, gracefully, and flowing with all other forms of life here on this planet Earth and everywhere throughout the universe. Infinite love, infinite joy, infinite peace. I give thanks for the wisdom shared by Mary, a wonderful wisdom giver and a person of heart. I give thanks for the special guests that we have here today to take us even deeper into the truth of who we are. I call it a good day and a very good day. It's unfolding exactly, perfectly, with laughter, joy, sharing, and becoming one. And together we say, and so it is. I would like to introduce our special guests today. First of all, let me bring up Lori. She is our percussionist today. And we also have Gio. With that said, from your hearts now being opened and your mind is going to be blown away. I am exiting stage right. Take it away.
Thank you so much, Gio and Lori. Really appreciate that. This is just part one of a two-part performance. And I'm sure it'll come up in the announcements later, but you do this on Friday night and Tuesday. To what time?
6:30 on Tuesdays and 6 o'clock on Fridays.
6:30 on Tuesdays and 6 o'clock on Fridays, right here in the sanctuary. And I've had it on my calendar, literally, to come to Gio's healing sound bath meditation on Fridays, and mi vida loca. So I finally made it on Friday before this because I wanted to experience it, and it's a deeper dive than this, but it's just so healing and soothing. So I would encourage anybody who hasn't been to come see this and experience it. So once again, good morning on this beautiful San Diego La Mesa Sunday morning in July. So is there anybody here who would like to outgrow their limitations? I mean, I know we've all done a lot of work. I'm pretty much preaching to the choir here. But there's always more to go. There's a part in the 12-step AA's big book that says, these spiritual principles are enough to keep one striving for the rest of their life. We are never complete. I guess we're complete when we're 6 feet under or in an urn or something like that. But even then, I'm sure there's more to go. So, I used to think, so we talk about, let me see so I don't get it wrong. Our purpose is to inspire, connect, and empower you to create and live your greatest life here at Om. That's our purpose. And I used to have this idea, probably when I was younger, that living my greatest life meant I needed to do something really big. I needed to be the white Oprah. I don't know, be a best-selling author. I don't know. But, as I've sort of marinated in this life and in these spiritual principles, what I've learned and I am learning, and I liked Sylvia's meditation of what I am and what I am becoming. And what I am becoming is aware that it's really within. It's living my greatest life within. And as above, so below, as within, so without. If I am living my greatest life within, then that is going to express outwardly in my daily affairs, so to speak. And sometimes spiritual principles seem to be contradictory or paradoxical. Because you'll listen to one, it's like, oh yeah, you got to go for it, right? You got to put it out there. You got to put your intention out there, and then the next statement is, and you got to let it go. How do you do that? How do you live in the moment and plan for the future? I don't know, but I believe that we live in the moment. We set the intention for the future, and then we let it go. We don't tell Spirit how to do it. We just say, this is what would bring me great joy. We don't even want to say, this is what I want, because wanting something is implying that you don't have it. So Ernest Holmes said, we would defeat the very purpose of life should we live in a continuous state of meditation or prayer, oblivious to the objective world. The practical values of spiritual perception remain latent until objectified. Any attempt to isolate oneself from the world of action is contrary to the order of the universe, therefore futile. As practical religionists, we seek to make our dreams come true. And unless our dreams are subjective hallucinations, they will become actual experiences if we demonstrate our principle, which is that true ideas pass through to accomplishment. So here Ernest Holmes is saying that we can't live in meditation 24/7. We need to live our lives, which are the material experience, the experience of these bodies, the experience of our connections and our relationships and our purpose and our work and our beautifying our homes and feeding our bodies and exercising and all that stuff, right? And then most of us will remember that Jesus said to pray without ceasing. So what is it? You know, how do I bring those two together? And I've been thinking about this in my own life and in my daily work about, I'll say I'm going to go meet with a client or something, and I'll center myself, I'll get prepared, let Spirit work through me, and I'll go and I'll sit and I'll be in conversation with somebody, and I realize after I walk away, I wasn't in that conscious connection with the divine. So it's kind of challenging, and sometimes when I find myself with somebody and maybe I'm in the world of form with them, engaging with them, just for a brief second I'll remember, oh, these are the eyes of the divine. I'm looking into the eyes of the divine. So we kind of balance that. There's another biblical saying that says being in the world but not of it. So we do need to engage in daily life. We have to do that in this third dimension of reality. But also knowing that Spirit is flowing through us, that sort of that ethernet, if you will, is flowing through us at all times. But we are here to live in this physical form. So we do have to be aware and be connected and be engaged with it. And they say every serious thought is a prayer. So when we set our intentions, we're not going to be going, okay, this is my heart's desire to write a book, say, for example. We're not going to be going, okay, have I written the book yet? Okay, is it done yet? Is it done yet? Check in the oven, We set the intention and then we let it go. And Spirit will move in amazing ways. I can't count the number of times that has worked for me, but I have a recent demonstration. And if we didn't have demonstrations, if we didn't see results, what would the point be? We would lose faith. Correct. So I have a demonstration of my own. So I have 2 jobs, and at my part-time job, I teach a financial literacy class to men who are in substance abuse treatment program, who have been in jail or prison. They got out and they're in the substance abuse program, and I'm a counselor there. And so I teach this financial literacy class, and I love teaching this class. I can't tell you how much I love it, in part because the guys love it. The clients love it. We're talking about money, and they're totally into it. And so that's fun. When you have a class, I was a substitute teacher for elementary, middle, and high school for a period of time. And they're not excited, generally speaking, to be in class. So it's really fun to teach a class when the students are engaged. So, you know, I took this second job as an internship to complete my substance abuse counseling certification, and they said, "Can you stay a little longer?" You know, because it wasn't very long. And I said, "Okay." So now it's been over 3 years that I've been there, and I think to myself, when am I going to leave this job? You know, I don't have to have it. It's nice to have a little extra money, but I don't have to have it. And then I think, I don't want to give up my class. I love teaching my class so much, even though it's 1 hour out of 16 hours that I spend there. And then I've been like, well, maybe I could take this show on the road and go do this for other programs or something. And then I just kind of let it go. And a couple weeks ago, I was at my day job typing away. And all of a sudden, I got one of those little idea bubbles. And I thought, I'm going to ask my boss at my day job if I could teach this class to our clients. And so I ran it by her, and she's like, "That's a great idea. Let's run it up the flagpole through management." I talked to management. They're like, "That sounds great. Put a proposal together." So I'm super excited about it, as you can tell. I'm really excited about the opportunity, and I haven't started it yet. I haven't even finished the proposal yet, but it's so cool to just like be doing something you love to do and just put it out there and just see how doors open. How creative ideas come to us when we're not, you know, doing a vision board and journaling and doing this and making a list, and right? There's just sort of a freedom with being in the flow of the divine and knowing that we are connected. And even when we're hammering a nail or filing our fingernails or whatever it is we're doing, even if we're not consciously aware of it in the moment, that spirit is just flowing through us. And we just open ourselves up to it. So, Ernest Holmes also said, "Spirit, which is the creative life principle, is forever flowing through us. But man or woman has been given the power or right to impede or stop its progress in himself or herself or their self. We know we can tie a cord tightly around our arm and so inhibit the circulation of blood that congestion, stagnation, and infection will follow. In like manner, through our thinking processes, our ideas, and our convictions, we use the tourniquets of negative thoughts and block the flow of creative life through us." So we often talk about negative thoughts, old belief systems, things like that, right? And don't most of us try to avoid negative thoughts? It's important to be aware of our thinking, isn't it? Debbie Ford wrote a book called The Dark Side of the Light Chasers. And I thought, ooh, I like that title. I like that. So I got it in audiobook, and I've been listening to it, and it kind of goes along similar lines of some of the work that Carl Jung did with the shadow self. We all have a shadow self that many of us deny. We hide it. It's sort of a mask that we wear. We don't want to admit that we're judgmental or controlling. I'm not going to say the word. I wasn't sure if I would say it from the podium, but I might get in trouble if I do. So we don't want the world to see us Am I manipulative? Do I lie? Little white lies, big stories. So we don't want the world to see that part of us. So we hide it. And we push it down, and we even deny it within ourselves. I'm a good person. I also teach a CBT class, cognitive behavioral therapy class in the jail. And that's one of the sort of stances of distorted thinking, is the good person stance. I'm a good person, so what if I robbed that bank? Or stole that car, or whatever it is, or shoplifted, or whatever it is. I'm a good person. So we sort of hold these signs up like a sandwich board. I'm a good person. And usually the louder we're yelling we're a good person, the bigger the sandwich board that we're hiding behind. So Debbie Ford in her book talks about embracing the shadow self, and that there is value in embracing the dark side. She says, by embracing our shadow, it can be healed. Once it's healed, we find that it was love. All along, it was love. Because even the shadow parts of ourselves, do we think that like the good parts of us are divine, are the God part? What about the shadow side? Is that not God? We say, why do bad things happen to good people? Why do bad things happen in the world? The good things that happen are God, and the bad things that happen are not. Spirit is like electricity. It is just as happy to fry your bacon as it is to burn down your house. It doesn't know the difference. It's how we use it. How do we use it? So our shadow is here for us to learn from and grow from. And what Debbie Ford said is, what you don't own owns you. When I heard that, I just went, wow. So we have a call to action. I invite you this week to get curious with yourself. To, in the safety of your sacred space, ask yourself, who am I? What is my shadow side? Am I, like I said, controlling, or a liar, or manipulative, or judgmental, or the words that I won't say out loud up here, and can I love that part of me and look for the good in it? Sometimes being a jerk is what is needed in the given moment. Doesn't mean we're being mean to others, but sometimes we need to stand up for ourselves, and then if that kind of means we need to be a little of a jerk, then embrace it. Allow it. And when we do, then we're beginning to practice that radical self-love, loving all of ourselves, not just the parts that we want the world to see. The parts of our hidden thoughts where we say, well, how could she have worn that? That dinner wasn't very good. You know, whatever it is. Just embracing it. And that is radical. We're not usually taught, like as children, we're taught, be nice, follow the rules, color in the lines. And then we spend the rest of our life, or we spend a number of years of our lives kind of like constrained by that, those rules, those lines, the outlines. And then we get to a point in life where we just say, okay, here I am. I hope we get to that point. That's the point that I'm getting to now. So the invitation for the week is in the safety of your sacred space to explore those parts of you. And another thing I heard, two things I heard this week. I listen to a lot of podcasts and I'm listening to this audiobook. One thing I heard is there is only one emotion, and that is love. All other feelings are just pinching off love, like that tourniquet. And the other thing that I heard this week was we cannot love and light ourselves through everything. Sometimes we're going through hard things, grief, pain, illness, whatever it might be. And it is okay to go through it for as long as you have to go through it. And give yourself permission to do that. So I'm going to invite Gio and Lori back up. And I hope it's okay for me to ask to set an intention. And so what I would like to invite you to do during this healing sound bath meditation is to just explore radical self-love. In this space, let's start with that. And then as you go, like I said, to your safe, sacred space, then you can begin to explore the shadow side. But let's just practice radical self-love in this time. So I'm just going to briefly, before they start, just know that there is one life. That life is God. That life is perfect, whole, and complete. That life is my life. That life is our life. The only life. And I'm so grateful for this time together. I'm grateful for Gio and Lori and for everyone here today just to share in this experience and just to practice radical self-love and self-acceptance of all of ourselves. And just knowing that as we do this, that we are just growing, that we are outgrowing any limitations, that we are expanding ourselves in that limitless expansion of growth. And so I'm just so grateful for this time together. I declare it good. I call it forth into being, saying, let it be done. And so it is.